almost all my own stuff. I grow 80% of my own food, which includes my own honey, my own eggs, and pardon me for the vegetarians, I also grow my own chicken to eat. It's just the way I do it. And I know that those animals have eaten. I know that the eggs are fresh every day, the vegetables are fresh every day. I know when I dress that chicken that I know what it eats. I know that none of you came to my class last weekend, I don't think, on how to dress a chicken. And I showed people how to do it humanely, carefully, and cleanly, and all. And I was surprised how many people stayed to see that, and all. And it's very simple to do, and all. So my chickens have lived a great life. They roam around in the pen, and we feed them all kinds of worms and weeds and stuff. But it's something that we offer as a small business to help educate you. I don't sell chickens yet, but enough people ask for baby chicks, we will bring them in because it's something that people ask for, and all. So that's our important role. The other important role we have is to make sure it's a place for community to come. We have farm animals for kids to see. You know, I have a piano in the middle of my nursery, or middle of our dry goods area. And is anybody in business for themselves here? Okay, so you know that square footage of a piano takes up isn't sellable square footage. But also I have people come in to play it because they don't have one at home. And it's really cool to have somebody sit and play the piano while customers are walking around. It's almost like Junior Macy's or whatever they do, where they have the pianist there. But it's something fun and it's something creative. Is anybody thinking of going to business for themselves? No. Okay. Well, you should. You'll never get fired. Never get laid off. But what it does is gives you a sense of pride and a sense of enjoyment. You know, today is the second one of our busiest days of the week, is Sunday. But I choose to come here because I get excited about talking to people about this, about having small business available. You know, at one time, City Heights, the area I'm in, had 4 or 5 nurseries there, and all. And now I'm probably one of 4 or 5 retail nurseries left in the city, and all, or in the outlying areas. I can name every single nursery on my hand, and all. And then also inclusive, there's the Armstrong Garden Centers, which are a chain that's nationwide almost. But the thing is that the reason that nurseries go out of business is because their land becomes valuable. The second or third generation looks at it going, I'm not going to work that hard, and they sell the property. This gentleman, Hal Simpson, once told me, this is the Simpson that owned Simpson's nursery before his niece and her husband took over. He once told me, he says, you'll never get rich owning a nursery. The only thing you'll do is enjoy your work, and it'll show. It'll show from people that come in, and you'll love it. The only time you're going to get wealthy is when you sell your property. It's a fact. You know, owning an acre and a half in the middle of the city is a large amount of property. A lot of taxes too, and all. But the fact is that I won't get wealthy because my kids will inherit it. You know. But the wealth I have is getting up in the morning and just loving going to work. Now I take a day off, like Sundays and Tuesdays. I could be there and it would be okay. You know, I love what I do, and in turn, my thanks is to all of you that come and support the nursery, that buy anywhere from just a packet of seeds to 10 fruit trees. Everyone's important to small business and all. And if they're in tune with you, and if they're hearing you, they're going to listen to you, and they're going to go ahead and try to make your needs available because you're supporting them and all. As far as farming goes, it's a real important thing to support local farms. You know, CSAs are really neat. Yes, they're a little more expensive, but there's a lot more organic farms in our county here than it is all through California and all. And why? Because people are starting to buy this stuff. It's starting to become something that they can afford to do. Then again, they're a small business. As they grow, as they are able to plant more, prices will reduce. You're finding a lot more organics available now than you did 3 or 4 years ago. You know, places like the bigger stores like Vaughn's and Henry's are carrying organics because you wanted to as a people. You wanted them available. The farmers markets also have farmers that don't grow organic, but they're still local. And some farmers markets have organics and unorganics that come from a distance and all. A lot of times people buy from them because there's more diversity on what they grow. But again, if you really purchase your food as to a seasonal basis, not what I want but what's available and make do, you'll get more business to the local people. You know, our bodies were built to eat seasonally. During the winter, what grows the best? Leafy greens and root crops. So we're eating more salads and that kind of thing during the winter because we're less active. We don't need all the extra material that is during the summertime. During the summer, we have the tomatoes, the corns, the beans, all that stuff that gives you more energy. So actually we eat seasonally, or we could be eating seasonally. And you could save money, and you could put less of a carbon footprint, because when I was a kid growing up in San Diego, you couldn't get watermelons until summer because there were no watermelons available. They didn't ship them in here. You know, our local grocery stores didn't have corn. We waited for corn to become available. And all, you know, gas stations were closed on Sunday. Actually, everything was closed on Sunday. And all, but it evolved now to where we can have anything we want at any time we want. And we've created what we have now. We've created the mass merchandisers. We've created all this stuff, and we need to uncreate it slowly. It can't happen overnight. But by supporting local farms and small businesses and learning to change your eating habits as to what's available instead of what you want, you'll fit right in. And the stuff that you can't get locally, you can always learn to, when it's plentiful in the markets or in the garden, can it, freeze it, dehydrate it. What's this going to do for you? I'm kind of away from the subject, is it's going to get you away from the TV, the computer, and all that other stuff, and learn about canning. When you have people over for a party, you know, you can have a canning party, or bread making party, or whatever have you, and you all can benefit from it. And even though some of you might have just a small little area to grow things, you take 4 or 5 people together, and each grow a crop, all of a sudden you have a bevy of stuff, because you're not growing everything yourself. So I can get back in line here. But anyways, so this is stuff that we have to offer small businesses. I've noticed a lot of small businesses and farms and stuff offering stuff for these kind of events and all. We try to do the best we can. We can't do everything for everybody, but I know that if I don't do things for schools, and I don't do things for organizations, they're not going to exist. And the future gardeners of the world coming up in high schools and elementary schools won't have a clue what to do with it. So as far as value goes, the more you purchase from a company, the more they can buy, the lesser it's going to cost. But it's all about working with small businesses, saying, you know, I can see that more people are buying this thing. Is there any way that, you know, you can go ahead and if we buy more that you can reduce the price? And sometimes they might listen to you, sometimes they won't. I'm not speaking for every little business in San Diego, I'm just speaking for myself, and what's kept us going, what's helped us survive, you know. We found that we could go ahead and grow our own vegetables for people at the same cost as bringing them in. So we're not having them trucked in, the vegetable plants that is. We're not having them trucked in. I have a full-time employee now, that's all she does. She lives near the nursery. So thus I've hired local, I'm growing local, and supporting local. And I can't put dollars and cents on it. All I know is that's what we're doing. And I buy our soils are made locally that we sell, our bulk soils. I've stopped buying bark, you know, the decorative bark, because it comes from Utah. It's a long haul. So what we've decided to do is start using local companies that have tree grindings and having that available at the nursery. It's a free product. It's a recycled product. We call it BTB, better than bark. You know, we use it in the nursery so people can see it. And we stick strictly with certain materials. We only do pine, nothing else. And there's a reason for quality concerns, the reason for pesticide concerns. That's why we only use pine and all. So all of a sudden now I'm helping a small business that does tree trimming cut their costs by not having to go to the dump. I'm supplying a product to you that I sell for 12 bucks, even though I get it for free. I have square footage, I have a tractor, a loader, or somebody to operate it, so that we've kind of kept that down. And it's a great product. It keeps weeds down, it smells good, it doesn't harm the soil, and it's a recycled local product. Why did we do this? Because bark was so expensive that people were saying, can't we get something cheaper? So I found something cheaper, and it's working somewhat. It's new. You know. So we're in tune with you if you guys tell us what you want and go into the small business. And if they're not listening to you, they're not on the right trail. And you need to explain the reason we're coming here to buy from you is that we need this product and we want to support you. And see what your response is, because hopefully it'll be a positive one. Questions? Yes?
Isn't the lack of water and the cost of water being a problem in your business?
Good question. Because I have 8 water meters. There's no lack of water. Cost of water is somewhat of a cost of doing business. And so what we've done to conserve on that is there are local growers up in Fallbrook and El Cajon and Lakeside that grow ornamental plant material.